Hey, what's up, Joe in Vegas? Another review. Last night I got a chance to go see Megadeth and Lamb of God. There were two other bands. We missed them. Unfortunately, I got stuck at a blackjack table. But Trivium, I think it was called, and In Flames. But I heard they were good. Not, I didn't see them, so I can't say anything on them. Lamb of God, I got there right when they were starting. Not listen. Lamb of God is not my cup of tea. It's just not my style of music. Doesn't mean they didn't kill it. They killed it. The fan. I think the fans were more into Lamb of God there than Megadeth. To be honest with you, he was great. He was really good. I don't know any Lamb of God songs. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I did enjoy the show. So I can't really leave much of a review other than that on Lamb of God. If you want, I'll run through the set list real quick. They sang Memento Mori, Ruin, Walk with Me in Hell, Resurrection Man. Now you've got something to die for. Contractor, 11th Hour, 512, which I actually remember that. That was good. Ghost Walking, Vigil, Laid to Rest, and then Redneck. And dude, they had the crowd. They had the crowd, man. It was impressive to see. They played about an hour, maybe. There was a little break, probably half an hour break, and then Megadeth came out. And I'm going to tell a quick story. I'll make it quick. Just this is my introduction to Megadeth as a little kid. I lived in L.A. I had an old little Jewish neighbor. His name was Len Kropkin. Didn't think much of him. He was this little nerdy guy. And one time he knocked on our door and asked me and my brother if we could help him move some tables. So we said, yeah, whatever. We'll help you move, you fuck. And we ended up moving the tables. And somewhere in that process, he looked at us. He goes, do you guys like Metallica? I'm sorry. He goes, do you guys like Megadeth? And we're like, yeah, I don't know. At the time, we were more into Metallica, to be very honest with you. I didn't know much about Megadeth. I don't even think I knew that Dave was in Metallica. I was such a little kid. He's like, you guys like Poison? And we're like, yeah, whatever. Didn't think much of it. We kind of laughed it off, and we thought he was just trying to fit in. He knew a couple names. A couple hours later, he knocks on our door, and he's got this big box of shit. Megadeth cassettes and posters and t-shirts and all this shit, and we're like, what the fuck? And it turned out he was their lawyer. He was a big music lawyer, and I think Megadeth was his biggest client, which is hilarious. I mean, I can't even imagine Dave and him sitting in a room together. He passed probably 6 months ago, so I don't know. That was just my little tribute. But one of those albums was So Far So Good, So What? And I was a little kid, and I remember putting it in and thinking, wow, this is really good. It reminded me of Metallica, obviously. Which, at the time, there's no Google or anything. There's no like documentaries everywhere you turn like there is now. So you don't really know the story of Dave and Metallica until you really are told it or start asking around or start, I don't even know how the fuck you found out about stuff like that back then. But I started to piece together the story of Dave and James and Metallica and everything. It was interesting. So you could I was gonna say that he has his roots in Metallica, but he's not. He was Metallica. There's no root. He's no spin off of Metallica. He was part of Metallica. So this is him. It's Dave. It's Megadeth. And I remember those last 3 or 4 songs on that album, the In My Darkest Hour and Liar and Hook and Mouth. I loved those songs. I thought they were great. Shortly after that, I think the Rust in Peace came out. So all the big MTV Hangar 18s and Holy Wars, which are good. I'm sure some diehard fans hate that shit because it's commercial. Same way I hate the Black Album from Metallica. It gets too commercial, and what was yours now becomes the rest of the world, and there's just this like, fuck you. But I never stayed a big Megadeth fan after those albums. I don't know why. I just life and other music I got into, but always respected them. I saw him years ago, so when he came to town, I was excited to go check them out. So, let me get into the set list. So they open with Hangar 18, which I think they always do. Great. It's a great song. Dread and the Fugitive Mind, Sweating Bullets, She-Wolf, Trust, Conquer or Die, Dystopia, Symphony of Destruction, which I love, Peace Sells, which is good, and Holy Wars, which, commercial, yes or no, it's still a great song. So the most interesting part of the night, I think, which was the incredibly short set list, is 10 songs. It's at first I thought maybe because they co-headline with Lamb of God, and then I started looking at their past set lists, and it seems like that's pretty much all Dave does is 10 songs. I don't know if he just doesn't give a shit because that's Dave. I don't know if it's his voice can't do more than that, or it's too much for him. I know he had cancer, but I think he's always done this. He looked good. I think the last interview I saw with him, he was all gray. I think he dyed his hair red again, which was cool. So He didn't look like this old man with this crazy gray hair up there, but he sounded great. He sounded great. It's only 10 songs, but it's really in your face 10 songs. They sounded clean. The stage was cool. It was just wide open, so there was a lot of moving around. There was a couple songs where like characters came out, like Vic the Rattlehead, the guy from the album covers, came out in costume, and then a big robot came out. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's a good metal night, man. If you like metal and you know Megadeth is the what's it called, Mount Rushmore of metal. There's no doubt it. I think they had that big four years ago, which it was like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and was it Pantera? I think. But they're definitely Mount Rushmore. Dave is the best. I mean, he's the best. He's a little cocky and he's got his little comments in between, but that's what makes Dave Dave. I wouldn't want him to see him any other way for sure. So that's the review. It's a great show. They think that he said that was the first night of their tour, so they're coming. If they come to your town, go see them, man. You're not gonna be able to see these guys anymore. It's a really fun, enjoyable show. I highly recommend it. Scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna give it an 8-1 only because it was short. I just, if it would have been a good couple hours like some of the other shows, I think it would have been a lot better, but it was still great, and I enjoyed it. And thanks for listening. Subscribe and comment, and I'll see you at the next show. Bye-bye.